Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out another game from the Global Game Jam 2014. This one is called Not Everything is Flammable. It is a game by DAM or DAM. And essentially what we're going to be looking at today is something of a turn-based runner. I know that sounds really weird, but let's sort of break this down a little bit, one step at a time here. So what we're going to be doing is essentially we'll be started on one ignition source, one object, as a flame, and essentially we have two options. We can either jump our flame to the right, or jump up in the air and then lean in the hopes that we can catch another thing on fire. The goal here is we can stop at any point, but we need to essentially keep the fire going to the right indefinitely as long as possible to rack up the highest score. And the score in this case is items that we've burned. Not every item is flammable, as the title suggests, and we have to look for white items that will burn, whereas the black items will not. So why don't we give it a try? It's a very addictive game. I went to try it for the sound test. I played a couple of times, and all of a sudden, a bunch of time had gone by, and then all of a sudden I had played like 10 times, and I could easily see myself sinking a half an hour into this, trying to best my best score. Unfortunately, this one doesn't have leaderboards, but we can kind of keep track in our own minds, and does keep our own scores per run. Per session of starting up the game, that is. So we've leaned over twice, we've passed the flame where you can see there's 3 actual individual flames burning right now, and if I jump, I'm going to use one of those 3, and then you can see there's 2, and then one little lean will catch this giant refrigerator on fire. You can see we're up to $93 in damage. Those will pass along like dominoes. Pushing over to the right, we can catch this calendar on fire that's going to start it up in the air. There's a beautiful Doge painting over there that unfortunately I think we're going to have to ignite. And then we've passed the flames onto this television. We're now at $2,900, and this one has quite a bit of flame to give out. Oh, and a grumpy cat picture, of course. And we're actually having a pretty decent run, at least for a starter. Okay, so this is where we're going to get into trouble here. You can see this, whatever's sitting on top of this trash can seems to have gotten stuck on top. That's a problem, and we're going to use up our last charge to just barely make it. And then we're going to light this Day of the Tentacle painting on fire as well. Now, a mysterious thing is these lanterns seem to allow us to swap the black and white items, and in this case it's going to allow us to pass the flames across some very volatile objects that actually will get us a whole bunch of extra money, but aren't normally flammable to quite that degree. So actually, I think we're possibly on one of my best runs now, which is incredible because this is my first try. Oh, almost lost there. As you've probably surmised, or that I've already sort of described to you, each time we run out of flame charges, that is the end of the game. Crap. Okay, wait. This is a problem because all these freaking things are in the way. Get it up on the TV. Now, bounce, hit the clock, and roll. Alright. Oh crap, I passed it on to the wrong side. I meant to go to the right. I was going to try and grab that calendar. That's really bad. So I think I might be kind of destroyed on my run at this point. Yeah, 1 charge left. I'm not going to be able to do anything, so I will fade out into obscurity at 38,981. Apparently the best score of the devs as of the time of this recording was 74,000, so that's actually surprisingly good when that is our high score to compare against. Don't dodge the Doge. Don't dodge the Doge. I would not like to dodge the Doge, with the exception of the fact that I have to light him on fire in this game. I don't feel happy about that. So it's like, now you can maybe see a little bit like a domino rally meets a turn-based runner, which is like a bizarre thing to put together. I don't even know if that makes a lot of sense, but hopefully somebody out there knows what I'm trying to get at. Not that genre definitions are all that important anyway, and hopefully you guys don't get too caught up in that stuff. I don't really care, but I like classifying stuff for the sake of doing it, just because, well, I don't know, it feels good. Sort of being an archivist of the various bizarre creations that people have come up with. Oh crap, I think I'm gonna lose. Oh, alright, I got it onto the book, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to escape. No, I'm not. So that was a very short run. I assume that this goes on indefinitely, given that we can have up to 74,000 based on the developer's score. I would think that if you're gonna have anything like this ever, be more competitive, it would have to be pretty much endless. But I'm kind of confused as to how they would make something like this endless. It seems like it's got to have its own little routines I swish back and forth a few too many times there. Apparently there's a Ming Dynasty vase, it said, worth 7,000, so let's hope we can discover that in one of our journeys. It is quite possible that maybe this is all randomly generated in that there are certain routines. I can just skip over this, go straight for the Doge. Okay, fair enough. So maybe there's certain templates. Well, actually, based on what I've seen so far, all of this stuff has been the same, but I would think, like, how long are they gonna have, you know, control over how many things are generated in here? And, like, I don't know, it seems like a lot of work. Oh, geez, I'm gonna probably lose this one. Oh, it actually caught. I didn't expect that. Alright. Painting goes up here. Let's grab the lantern. Yeah, it would have made sense to make this randomly generated, but I'm pretty sure that's not what's going on. And I also need to min-max how to make the most money. I mean, I know certain objects are worth a lot more than other objects, but I'm pretty sure that there are certain ways that you can, like, float through the air that seem to lend itself to slightly better results. See, this is a problem, because I have to use a bunch of charges to try and hit the clock. Alright, thankfully, just made it on that one. You gotta know what your range is on some of these items. Some of them seem a little bit better to burn than others. Oh, geez, I got ahead of myself there. Alright, that didn't quite work out. I have to say this game is really, really addictive, and really simple and fun and accessible, which is a thing that I think a lot of people should value more. Whether a game is casual or hardcore, whatever definition you want to put on it, if it's something you can pick up and play, and it's fun, that goes a long way. And then this is exactly that. It takes exactly 2 controls. It's something that just about anyone, I think, could understand the premise to. You know, the understanding of fire and how it works is kind of ubiquitous, I'd say. So if you're someone who's participating in the human experience with us, this seems like a thing that whether or not you're, you know, well adapted to video games, you'll probably be able to play this. And I could see this having real mass appeal, actually. If the developer wanted to take this way further, I could easily see the iOS game being a big deal. Go ahead and take this further, have there be, like, multiple houses, unlockables, all kinds of stuff I'm sure could be in the works for something like this. Not sure if they'd be willing to go that far with it, but I definitely could see the potential regardless. And it also has a pretty catchy little background tune, too. I mean, I have the sound turned down pretty far, but if you listen to it, and I do recommend that you do, it will be kind of catchy. Could use some more music, I think perhaps. See, this is bad, I got stuck under all those books. But if this was something that was developed further upon, having the music maybe shift every so often, or having the decor or the theme of the rooms that you're passing through shift every now and then, I think could be really fun, as well as having really good chain reactions that you can set up. And you know, the other thing this is reminding me of, and this is a bit tangential because the correlation is not really direct or anything. Wow, that was a mess. But this is also reminding me a little bit of one of my freaking favorites from when I was a little kid, Glider and Glider Pro. The game where you basically fly a paper airplane through all sorts of interior locations and various architectural challenges, trying to, like, knock things out with rubber bands and fly on vents. It's a classic game. I really wish I could play it for the series. Unfortunately, it looks to be kind of lost in the sands of time. I have found a download for it, but I haven't ever been able to get it to run on my PC. It was primarily a Mac game when it was new, and I think the Mac actually got the definitive version of Glider Pro, and I've never seen quite so many of the various features offered in the Windows version. Anyway, totally off on a tangent again, but that's kind of what we do here. We'll just give this one more run, and then I think we'll wrap things up. I'd love to hear what you guys can get for your high scores, especially since this game is so addictive. I have a feeling a few of you out there might be driven the way I am to try and go after a really good score on this one, and it's very tempting. It's just too bad that we can't all compare our scores live on a leaderboard. I think that is one thing that would certainly push this one over the edge. And I could easily see paying $1 or $2 for this. I would have no problem for it. And in fact, if you added a couple of those little features, I would even probably pay $3. And not to, you know, be rude or try to be mean to the developer or anything. I mean, it's not a lot of money, but at the same time, it's kind of a quick little easy experience. Oh, and if you're wondering also, the for educational use only in the bottom right corner, that's just because it's an unregistered, or not pro version of Unity, I should say. Not that it's not registered, but there's like multiple tiers for developers to buy into with the development in the Unity engine. But that is going to do it, I think, for today's game. Not Everything is Flammable. Highly, highly recommended. Go grab it. Totally free. another awesome game that we found in the Global Game Jam 2014. I'll be revisiting for more things like this, and I would love to see if the developers happen to run into this video. Feel free to chime in the comments, as well as all of you guys. Let me know what your high scores are, what your strategies are as things get further in, and if you've discovered any really cool moments as you get further in the endless corridor of this house. If you start discovering, Ming vases every 3 seconds, that could be kind of interesting. But yeah, go get the game, let me know what you think, tell me your scores, all that stuff is good. Also, while you're in the description, if you like, check out my social media information, my Twitter, of course. You can follow what's going on new with the channel and myself personally. My Facebook page, of course, if you'd like. I've got my Twitch channel where I stream, and then, of course, indie-impressions.com, which is where all these episodes get aggregated. So if you're interested, I sort them all over there, and you can actually find them based on a whole bunch of different search metrics. So if you're interested in, like, a free game versus, the LD games or the Steam games desk or whatever you're into, there's something over there for everybody. But that is going to do it for another day. Please do come back again tomorrow. Every day is a new game, so I've been keeping this going for very nearly 2 years now. With your support, I'll keep things going even further. So please do leave your support, and I will see you again tomorrow. Have a lovely night, guys. Talk to you later.